Students, now let us discuss the disadvantages of this cooperative societies. First one is limited funds. As you all know, the entry fee kept is very lower level, and number of persons is minimum 25 members are there, and the people belong to one small village or small region start this cooperative society means the capital contributed by them will also be very less. So the funds available with the cooperative society is very limited. They cannot expand their activities beyond a particular level because of this limited financial resources. The next one is over reliance on government funds. See, as the funds could not be raised from the outsiders or general public, the government assistance and subsidies are expected by these cooperative societies to a greater extent. So always these cooperative societies will look for the release of funds from the government, which may not be continuous, or when and where it is required, the government may not release the funds. So it is a very greater disadvantage of these cooperative societies. That is, the government funds when they will get is uncertain. Therefore, the cooperatives are not able to plan their activities in the right manner. Then, imposed by the government. See, in India, usually the cooperative societies are initiated and started only with the guidance and help of the government, respective state governments only. Then, but whereas in the Western countries, it is voluntarily started by the weaker sections of the people. So, when the government starts something, means the government intervention will also be very high to avoid all the misuse and other things. The government impose so many restrictions on these cooperative societies, which hinders the development of these societies. Then, benefit to rural rich. Though it is said that cooperative societies are formed for the uplift of the lower class people, but the illiterate people cannot do anything by complying to the legal formalities and other things. So these cooperative societies are silently or secretly dominated only by the rich people. That is, another one point is there, the poor farmers, even if they produce something, means that would be enough for their family and rented, whereas the rich people only, they will produce in large quantities, and they could sell their products through these cooperative societies. The next disadvantage is inadequate rural credit. The cooperative societies gives loans only for the productive purposes, for that is for to carry out the agricultural activities, or if the weavers means to buy the raw materials, and the for which it is farmed, for that only they are giving credit. But the people, they the downtrodden people, they need loans for various other personal needs also, for which they could not get the loan from these cooperative societies. So automatically they would go to the rural money lenders, and see, they are facing all the disadvantages of this money lending business and other things. Next one is lack of managerial skills. See, we know that these cooperative societies are purely managed by the people, those who are the members of this society. So with those people may not have that expertise in that particular field or industry. So the managerial skill needs to improve and enhance the business may not be adequate in this respect. Next one is government intervention. As the government starts these cooperative societies in India, the government intervention will also be to a greater extent. So it affects their autonomy and flexibility. So they have to follow all the rules and regulations levied by the government periodically. Then next one is misuse of fund. This is a greater disadvantage. The people, those who are have some power in the rural areas, they used to cheat the illiterate farmers or illiterate weavers by their fraudulent actions and activities. So many cooperative societies failed and closed because of this fraudulent activities of corruption and misuse of funds. The next disadvantage is inefficiencies leading to losses. The same thing, the lack of managerial skills we discussed. No, the same thing is there. See, these people, they have to operate within the limited source of finance. They could not appoint or recruit best talent, or they could not have the latest equipments and other things for their technology may not be could not be followed by these societies to improve their that is profitability or whatever it is, which may lead to losses. They operate in the traditional mold which may not be suitable to the modern business environment and therefore suffer losses. Next one is lack of secrecy. That is, it is said that cooperative societies are operating in the under the basic principle of democracy. See, it is mandatory that all the members can have the right to know about all the activities proceeded by the cooperative societies, which in turns see, they have to give the reports and accounts to the register of cooperatives also frequently or periodically. So the information relating to activities, revenues, members is open to all and it becomes a public knowledge. So secrecy may not be maintained in this case. Then conflicts among members. See, usually 25 to 30 members form one group, means naturally there arise some problems among them which could not be solved easily as they all know each other personally. So there might be internal politics, differences of opinion, quarrels, etc. among the members. Next one is limited scope. These cooperatives cannot be introduced to all the industries. Only for few type of business only this cooperative movement is suitable. So they can't enhance their that is production activities and other things to a larger extent because of lack of funds, like farming, weaving and handmade products, handicrafts. For these purposes only nowadays in India the cooperatives are being started. So this is a limited scope is there for the cooperative society. So these are the major disadvantages of these cooperative societies.